Hello everyone, myself VIDHYABHAVAN from LPSAVANI VIDHYABHAVAN, and today we are going to learn our Standard 1 English lesson number 1, Priya'S story time. So students, let's get started the story. This is Priya. She is 6 years old. She is full of fun and laughter. Priya likes her grandmother a lot. Her grandmother tells her a story every night before going to bed. Now, as you can see in the picture on the screen, that there is a little girl whose name is Priya and her grandmother. Now, it is their routine that her grandmother every day night before going to bed tells her a story. Now, today, like in the lesson in the story, one night her grandmother told her a story about a lonely giraffe. So here on that day, on this particular night, her grandmother tells her a story about a lonely giraffe. A tall giraffe lived in a forest. One day he was wandering in a forest in search of friends. Now, as I told you, this is the story of a giraffe, a lonely giraffe. And we all know how giraffes are. They are tall animals, yes. So, it is a story of a tall giraffe who lived in forest. So, one day he was wandering in a forest in search of a friend. Now, wandering is to move around. He was moving around and he saw a crocodile by the river, as you can see in the picture. Now, giraffe is asking to the crocodile, "Will you be my friend?" And the crocodile replies, "You are too tall. You cannot crawl on the ground like me." So, this is the way the crocodile denies to be his friend. Giraffe felt bad. Then, next, the giraffe met a rabbit. He asked him to be his friend at that time, but the rabbit said, "You are too tall to play in my burrow." Now again, in this way, rabbit also denies to be his friend. Then the giraffe came across a few monkeys on trees. He asked them to be his friends. All the monkeys said in chorus, "You are too tall. You cannot climb trees and swing along with us." So, this is the way of monkey to deny to become giraffe's friend. Then what happens? The giraffe was very upset and decided to walk back home. So, as we had seen earlier in all the three incidents, they all, crocodile, rabbit and monkeys, they all are denying to be giraffe's friend. Why? Because giraffe is very tall. Then suddenly there was a loud cry, "Help! Help!" The giraffe rushed back to see what had happened. A baby monkey was caught among the branches. The other monkeys around tried to help, but were not able to do so. They too cried for help. The crocodile, who was near the pond, tried to help, but as he could not climb the tree, he failed. Then the rabbit came. The rabbit tried to hop as high as she could, but she could not jump as high as needed. She failed too. Then lastly, guess what? Yes, the giraffe. The tall giraffe went up to the tall tree and lifted his long neck towards the branches. And he gently pulled out the baby monkey and rested her on his back and rode her around the forest. Then the baby monkey was so happy. You can see in the picture. She hugged the giraffe and said, "Thank you, my dear giraffe uncle. You are the best and the tallest." Then, next, the crocodile, the rabbit, and the monkeys were ashamed for being rude to the kind giraffe. They all went to the giraffe and said, we are ashamed and we are sorry." So, in this way, they are saying sorry to the giraffe for their behavior, for the denying giraffe's friendship. Then the giraffe smiled back and shook hands with all of them. From that day onwards, there was only happiness among the animals in the forest. Now, grandmother completed the story and look at Priya. Priya had fallen asleep listening to the story about the giraffe. She slept that night with a smile on her face because she was happy that the giraffe found friends at last.